Yeah, no. No, I got these from Trader Joe's because I heard they're healthier. Yeah, no, yeah, I looked it up. Yeah, they're like, kind of like vitamins if you think about it. Yeah, no, hell yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, hold on. It's my dad. I'll see you when you get home. Yeah? Okay. Okay, love you. Okay, bye. ¿Qué dice viejón? No voy a poder, papá. Tengo un show. Un show. Sí me van a pagar esta vez. Oh. Ajá.
Nomás estás practicando y practicando todo el tiempo y
Ajá.
ponte a trabajar en otra cosa. Ya no te voy a decir nada, man. Te digo cosas y te enojas. Pero hablando en serio.
What's up, everybody? Thank you. They're gonna know it's 40 people in here. No matter how loud we cheer, it's like, no, that's 40 people. It sounded like 41, maybe. Yeah, the camera's gonna make it look like it's big. It's like, hell no, I'm looking to camera. This is a small show. But here we are. You guys bought the tickets. Thank you for being here, man. I'm super excited. Thank you, yes. Yeah, man. I tipped my Uber driver $50 cash the other day. Yeah, you don't do some shit like that and not talk about it? I want to tell you guys. I tipped him $50 because I wanted him to pretend we were a family when he dropped me off at the airport. He was good, man. He got out, we hugged. I did one of these where they squeeze you hard. You're like, all right, water's gonna come out, hold on. And he stood there and waved at me aggressively. I waved at him too. I'm like, all right, man. 10 minutes later, he sends me a text. Are you at the gate yet? I'm like, this transaction's over, bro. Yeah, man. I just got back from Europe. I'm super excited. First time ever going to Europe, man. It was great. If you like sandwiches with more than one slice of ham, don't go to Paris. It was whack, man. I ordered a sandwich, one slice. It broke my heart. I opened it up, just one slice, chilling. You ever been so heartbroken at your food order that you can't even speak? I looked at it, I was just like, my girl's like, what's wrong? I'm like, the waiter came over, is everything okay? I'm like, I need more ham. And he goes, it's quality over quantity. I'm like, comment dit en français, fuck you, man. I had to carry a little extra pack of ham and just like hook up my sandwiches whenever I ordered more. It broke my heart, man. I went to go check out the Mona Lisa. I don't know if you know this, but the Mona Lisa is this big. You wait in all that line just to get there and go, is that it over there? It's like, really? It's like, I know he had more paint. The museum guy is like, it's more like quality over quantity. I'm like, oh, you too, huh? Okay. I see what this is. Yeah, man. I like to travel, but I like food more. Like, food is my favorite. I used to be addicted to cupcakes, man. Yeah, I used to eat one every day except Sundays because diabetes. You gotta be careful. The older I get, I feel like my palate became a lot more refined. I'm into muffins now. I feel like muffins are just mature cupcakes. Right? Like a cupcake woke up one day, went to the bathroom mirror and went, you know what? Fuck these sprinkles. Fuck this frosting. Bitch, you're delicious. Like, yeah, you are. Words of affirmation right there. My favorite part about eating a muffin is taking the corduroys off. The little, like, just a muffin all vulnerable right there. Little stretch marks on the side. I'm like, I like that muffin. I like that. It's like poor muffin looks like it's been wearing jeans and a tight belt all day. It's like, muffin, relax. It's just me and you right now. And when you look at food the way I do, you'd be pre-diabetic for sure. Yeah? Here's a question. Is every deli famous? Right? Think about every deli you've ever been to. It's like world famous. It's like they opened a deli right by my place and I saw them put the sign up and the sign's going up and already it said world famous. I want to go up to the guy like, yo, like relax, enjoy the journey, man. Like, what's the rush, bro? You'll get there. How come you don't see like an up and coming deli? Like, I'll go support. Even a locally respected, hey, fuck it, I'm here. Look, what's up? Yeah, I mean, I did a special for 40 people. I know what's up, bro. Yeah. Yeah, man. I love food, man. Ketchup, I love ketchup. Thank you, yes, ketchup crowd right here. Fuck yeah, all right, this is gonna be a good special. How'd the special go? I said ketchup, they said woo, like all right. I do like ketchup, man. It's like, but I feel like whoever invented the glass ketchup bottle, like that's the meanest thing ever. Like no one's ever extracted the proper amount of ketchup out of a glass bottle. We've all been to brunch. One of two things happen. You either get the, that's enough. Or, fuck. I got kicked out of a McDonald's recently. Not my proudest moment, but I got kicked out. I did something that everyone's done before. It's like when you go in there, you go to a fast food restaurant, you ask for a cup of water, right? You take the cup of water, right? You go and you fill it up with ketchup. Oh, ketchup. That's a rookie move, soda. No, you put ketchup in there, bro. It's the first time I got caught, I'll admit. I go in there, just I like to hear it dry heave, like, hey, refill it, bro. So I'm in there, I'm pumping away with ketchup, and I hear somebody behind me, and I know it's the manager. I don't look, I keep going even faster. And he goes, excuse me. I said, hey, I'm almost done. Give me a second. He goes, I'm the manager. Can you please stop? I said, again, I'm almost done. Give me a second, man. He goes, I hate when people do this. It's like, yeah, I've never bought ketchup. I just come here. He goes, can you please leave? I'm like, all right. So I have to grab all the ketchup cups. He's like, get out of here. I'm like, you have cup holders for the ketchup? What about lids? He's like, get the hell out of here. Yeah, man, but I just love food. Like, mustard? Yeah. Yes, you guys like mustard? Yeah. I just cleaned out my refrigerator and I realized I've been working on the same bottle of mustard since I was a kid. Now, this bottle's been a part of my life a long time. I don't even know if it's bad or not because like, it's mustard. That's what it tastes like, I guess. No one knows what mustard is supposed to taste like. No, yeah, that's the company telling you like, hey, you'll know one day. That's why they don't put expiration dates. Just one day you're like, yeah, it's bad now. What I hate about mustard is when water comes out. That's devastating. I hate it, right? That's the worst thing. You're like, oh no, right? You know why that happens? Because you surprised it. It wasn't ready. You got to shake it. You got to let it know you're about to use it. Like let somebody like squeeze you, see water doesn't come out. You weren't ready, right? They got to tap you. Hey, okay, go for it. All right, yeah, no water. I like mustard, man, but whoever invented mustard was not good at it. Same guy invented yellow mustard, spicy mustard, Dijon mustard. I want to go up to the guy like, bro, keep going. You're really close, man. If you ever tasted mustard, you're like, man, that was delicious. That's honey mustard for sure. Right? And honey is doing all the lifting in that relationship. Oh, did you guys know that mustard was initially invented to clean jewelry? What? Yeah, that's not true. Complete bullshit, but you believe it. You know why you believe it? Because you know what it tastes like, you know what I mean? Mustard is the only condiment that you can spill on yourself and people love to point it out and just ruin your fucking day. You ever met this guy? Like, hey man, you got mustard on your shirt. It's like, oh, fuck, man. Have a good one. Fuck you, man. If you ever feel lonely, you want to make some friends, put mustard on your shirt on purpose. Just walk around. They'll come up to you like, hey, man, you got mustard on your shirt. It's like, oh, fuck. What's your name, bro? Friendship made. Yeah, man. Love food. Can we agree that whoever invented poke was not good at rolling sushi? End of joke. I just wanted to share that. You got to be careful what you eat, though, man. You can eat whatever you want, but you got to be careful, man. I was starting to feel a little off. I went to the doctor, got some blood work done. 2 days later, the doctor himself calls me up. He's like, hey, can you come in? I want to review these results with you. I'm like, can you tell me now? You have me here on the phone. He's like, no, I need you to come in. I'm like, that can't be good. Right? And I'm driving, and I'm thinking of every cupcake and muffin I've ever eaten. And in my head, I'm like, I got to change my ways, man. No more muffins, just lettuce and tomato and quality over quantity. You know what I mean? So I get there, and the doctor goes, I have good news and I have bad news. I'm like, great, what's the good news? And he's looking at my chart. He's like, all right, despite your eating habits, he's like, you are not diabetic. I'm like, all right, back to these muffins, baby. Let's go. I said, what's the bad news? He's like, the bad news is you're pre-diabetic. I'm like, oh, come on, man. He's like, yeah, this is serious. I'm like, pre-diabetic? I'm like, aren't we all pre-diabetic? Technically, we're all pre-diabetic in this room. Until you're diabetic and then post-diabetic. I'm like, what are you telling me right now? He goes, I'm worried about you. I said, I'm worried about me too now. Thank you, doctor. He goes, you have to start changing your ways. You have to think about your future. You got to change your eating habits. I'm like, I'm buying muffins from Whole Foods now. He said, that doesn't count. I said, I'm trying. And then he starts looking through his chart. He goes, I got to ask you these questions. He's like, do you eat a lot of fried foods? I'm like, well, I don't go out of my way, but I dabble for sure, yeah. He goes, do you eat a lot of Mexican food? I'm like, well, I eat at home. So yeah, that's all I got over there. He's like, all right, well, have you tried making other stuff? I'm like, yeah, but it ends up being Mexican every time. He goes, how does that happen? I said, I tried making spaghetti and I ended up with Fidel. It's fucked up over there, man. He goes, you got to take care of yourself. I'm going to go send you to get some more tests, some more labs and that kind of thing. I've never been on that side of things. I've taken my parents to doctor visits, but I've never been on that side. That side sucks. I never realized that. First place I went to was to go get an MRI. I've never had one before. I don't even know what the machine looked like. When they showed me the machine, I thought it was a big-ass air fryer. I'm like, this is nice right here. I'm like, how many wings fit in here? I had never seen one before, So I go get an MRI. My insurance is not very good, I learned. So I learned that. So they sent me to go get a lab, way in the hood. So I'm like, I go in there, and I'm waiting. I'm nervous, right? I'm doing one of these. And the lab tech comes out. I've never seen a lab tech like that buff. Big-ass fool. Big mustache, tattoos, muscles. His muscles were so big he couldn't put his arms down. It looked like he was taking a prom picture forever, just like this, you know what I mean? I was like, that's a buff motherfucker right there. So he comes out and he goes, Jesus Trejo? I'm like, right here. He's like, follow me, big dog. I'm like, oh, all right. I've never been called big dog in this setting before, but hey, I'm listening to you now. So we walk in and he's walking in front of me. I'm just following him. He's like, hey, speed up, big dog. I'm like, all right, yeah, whatever you need, man. Big dog. I've never heard that vernacular before in that setting. But it makes you listen. You're like, yeah, no, I'm listening. So we walk into this dark room. He's looking at his, paperwork. He goes, all right, first things first, if you don't mind, I need you to put on this hospital robe. Get naked, put the robe on. I'll see you in a minute. And I look at the robe. It's the nastiest thing I've ever seen. The robe is still in the shape of the last person who wore it. I go, hey, man, I can't wear this, man. Can I just go on my boxers? He goes, hey, big dog, it's a sanitary issue. I said, what is? He goes, we don't want you touching none of the equipment. So get naked, put the robe on. I said, bro, with all due respect, this is a sanitary issue. He goes, get naked, put the robe on. I'll see you in a minute. He leaves. And I got to put it on. And I kept thinking, I'm like, I don't know who invented the hospital robe, but you're not done inventing the hospital robe. Whoever invented it forgot the most important part. You know what part that is? The part where it closes from behind. Every hospital robe, you put it on, you got to hold that shit from behind. Your ass is out the whole time. That's not a good feeling, man. I feel like hospital robes are lingerie for sick people. Just by definition, what does a piece of lingerie do for somebody? They get you in the mood. Same thing with a hospital robe. Even if you felt healthy in the lobby, You put on the robe, you start feeling sick. Your eyes start closing. Your back starts arcing. You're like, whoa, what the fuck happened? I felt fine 1 minute ago. And there you are with the robe, holding it from behind. Vulnerable. The guy walks in, it looks like you have flowers for the guy. Like, here, I got you something. Thank you, big dumb. So I put on the robe. Oh, by the way, you want to piss off a medical professional? Put the robe on the other way. And just wait for that fool to come in, like, what's up, man? They don't like it. Hey, big dog, the other way, man. It's like, you said robes go this way. I don't know what this is. They don't like it. So I put the robe on, and he goes, all right, thanks for putting the robe on. Follow me, we're gonna go to the next room. And we go to the next room, and I'm walking, got my little robe on, like taking little steps. I've never worn a skirt before, but it's hard to walk, ladies. I give you respect. I'm doing these little walks. After a while, you have to like scoot around just to catch up. And we make it, right? We make it into the room, and he turns on the light. I see the big air fryer looking thing. He goes, all right, here we go. So he goes to the machine. He takes out the gurney and goes, all right, big dog, if you don't mind, please have a seat. So I go over there, but I'm looking at him like, hey, don't be peeking, bro. So I get to the gurney, and I let go of the robe. I sit down, boom, ass cheeks right on the gurney. You ever sit on something so cold it makes you instantly upset? The guy goes, hey, big dog, what's wrong? I said, my ass cheeks are on the gurney. He's like, no, they're not. I said, bro, look. He's like, put your leg down. My bad. I felt like you didn't believe me. That's why I did that. I said, you don't have it like tissue paper you can put down? Tracing paper at this point? I hate that paper at the doctor's office. When you sit on, it sucks. Even if you sit still, it makes sounds. You ever notice that? It's like, what the fuck's moving? Are my balls moving? Oh, the worst is when the doctor tells you to get up and walk towards them. You just bring the whole roll with you. You're just standing there, CVS receipt amount of paper hanging out of you. Reward bucks, look at that. So there I am, vulnerable, just sitting there. Again, ladies, I give you respect with the skirts. I don't know how you do it. I learned how to cross my legs and everything. Right, you gotta do the thing, you cross and then you turn and you cover the window. You don't want people peeking, I get it. And there I am, I'm waiting, so he, the lab tech comes back in, he goes, all right, we're gonna get started. I said, all right, let's do it. For some reason, he goes, you're my last patient of the day. I'm like, all right. He goes, if we do this correctly, you and I can get out of here quick. I said, great. He's like, your MRI is gonna take 30 minutes. I said, okay. He's like, so you can't move? I said, hold on. 30 minutes, like, how long are they usually? He goes, 1 hour. I said, well, why is mine 30? And he looked at my paperwork. He goes, your insurance only covers 30 minutes. I'm like, I need better health insurance. I said, are you going to find what you're looking for? He goes, I hope so, big dumb. First time I see him crack a smile, he goes, I hope so, big dumb. I'm like, you're not a nice guy, man. He goes, we're gonna get started. So one thing you should know is that you can't move. If you move, we're gonna have to start over. Do you understand? I said, I understand. He goes, the way these things work, they're very sensitive. If you move, big dog, we're done. We have to start over. Even if we're 1 minute away. I'm like, all right. He goes, do me a favor and don't move. I said, I got it. He's just looking at me. I said, what? Don't move. I'm like, I heard you, bro. Now, when somebody tells you not to move that many times, what do you want to do? You want to move. So I tell myself, don't move. Get stiff. I didn't know I was doing a plank, but planks are not good. They're tough to do, especially if you're unathletic like me. So I get stiff. They put me in there. 5 minutes into it, I realize this shit is not sustainable. I'm in there shaking, covered in sweat. My nose hair, I can hear it growing. I'm so itchy, like, oh man, I'm trying not to scratch. And it's bugging me. I'm trying to scratch. I'm like, but if I move, we're going to start over. So I kind of screwed myself by stiffening up like this. And I want to scratch so bad, so I get this bright idea. I'm like, oh, just make your nose hair vibrate. You can kind of scratch them, so I go into it. And, The guy cuts on. What's going on in there, big dog? I said, it's not going good, man. He said, what's the problem? I said, I'm shaky, sweaty, I'm itchy. He goes, you can't scratch. I said, I want to. He said, you got 10 minutes left, big dog. Just hang in there. I said, I can't. I want to scratch right now. He goes, I tell my patients to spell the word scratch in your mind. It'll get rid of it. I said, I did already. He said, did it help? I said, I misspelled it because I'm too itchy to think right now. He said, don't move. I'm like, fuck it, just start over, man. That MRI took 2 hours for me. My insurance covers 30. That was expensive for me. Yeah, man. Like going to a bunch of doctors is so interesting. Like that whole journey when they send you to one, they send you to another one. It's like, I didn't like any of that, man. It was so every time I meet a new doctor, I ask them, I'm like, hey, how long you been a doctor for? And I hate when they say, oh, I've been practicing for 25 years. It's like, practicing? Right? It's like, you got a game coming up or some shit? How long you been doing? Tell me that. Doctors, man. They tell you, are you looking for a good doctor? Look at credentials. Credentials are overrated. You don't want to look at credentials. Credentials could be like a lie. You go to a trophy store, hey, write best doctor on there. You're like, that's a good credential. Yeah, I got it in 2010. So that's what happened with this doctor. I went to this doctor, and he had a bunch of credentials in the office, and it said, voted best doctor 2010, 2011, 12, 13, 2018, 19. I'm like, yo, what happened right here? Some neglect happened right here? We like, take all this down. You can't put it up no more. I feel like you can tell how good a doctor is by the type of fishes they have in the lobby. Right? The more exotic the fishes are, the better the doctor is. I call offices up all the time now. Hey, what kind of fishes you working with over there? Excuse me, I said, what kind of fishes? Look at the tank. Blowfish? No shit. Clownfish? Oh shit. A manatee? Shit, I'm on my way. Put me down, noon. If you ever go to a doctor's office and they got goldfish in the lobby, get the fuck out. That's a malpractice waiting to happen right there. Yeah, man. I did a bunch of research on diabetes because we all know what diabetes is. Especially if you're black or Latino, it runs in our blood, right? It's like a diabetes. So I wanted to know what the history of it was. This is what I learned. Maybe you guys knew this. I didn't know. So diabetes has been around 3,000 years. The first case ever on record was in India, and back then they called it sweet urine disease. Basically what that meant was that if you went somewhere, took a piss, left, and when you came back, that puddle was covered in ants, you were gonna die. Yeah, right, what a terrible way to find out you were diabetic back then. If I lived back then, I'd be paranoid. I'd be right there by my wet spot waiting. I wish an ant would. Get out of here. So what are you doing? Trying to stay pre-diabetic. Mind your own business, man. I feel like they test for diabetes the same way. Like medicine has not evolved as much as we think it has. Because when you get a physical, what's the first thing they ask you? Pee in a cup. What do they do with the cup? Ask yourself. I asked the nurse, I'm like, hey, excuse me, miss, what do you guys do with the urine sample? She goes, oh, we send it to a lab. I'm like, yeah, my ass. I said, where's the lab? She goes, oh, it's far away. No, I think it's right here in the parking lot. That's what I think happens. The nurse grabs a urine sample, walks over, opens the back door of the clinic, just... Now she's on ant duty, just waiting. Just waiting. It's like, all right. Oh, shit, is that an ant? Shit, get Jesus on the line. This is serious. Is that a wasp? High blood pressure, too. Get him on the line. Come on. Some dog pissing in the same spot. Oh, low IQ as well. Write that on the chart. Is there any nurses in here at all? No, good. All right. I was just curious because, like, if you think about it, like, why do doctors write like that? I've never met a doctor that had good handwriting. That's probably like a sign of a bad doctor. If you can read his writing, get out of there too. Yeah, I had a doctor one time. He could not, like, man, like I knew it was gonna be bad when he wrote me the prescription. So he takes out the pad, takes out the pen. Just the way he was gonna write the prescription, like the way he gripped the pen. And when he wrote, his tongue came out a little bit. So he wrote the prescription. He gives it to me all confident. Here you go, sir. I say, what the hell does this say? Were you trying to get the pen to work? Because I think on the third squibble, you got it to work, bro. I called him out on it. I go, hey, I just said, I can't read cursive. Would you mind, like, reading this back to me? He goes, sure. He grabs it. I knew he couldn't read it when I heard him exhale. He goes, let me try again. I said, you can't read it, man. I have a theory, right? So my theory as to why doctors write that way, you know why they write that way? They're talking shit about their patients. Whether you want to believe me or not, that's what they're doing. There's only two people that can read it, the doctor and the pharmacy tech. Next time you go to the pharmacy, look at the way the pharmacy tech looks at you. Pay attention. You go there with your prescription. Here, I need this. And they're like, all right, let me see. Oh, we'll be right back with this. Like, fuck you and the doctor. I should have knew some shit was up when I saw the goldfishes up there. Doctors, man. So silly. Health insurance, do we have it? Yeah? God bless, man. If you have it, hold on to it. It's hard to come by, right? It is so hard. And mine's not the best, but I'm like, it's something. Right? Yeah, and I remember I got so excited when the onboarding starts and they send you the pamphlets and you read words like copay. You're like, copay, that means half. Then you get the bill. You're like, this is the whole thing. They sent me 2 codes on this one for sure. Co plus co, whole thing. Yeah, man, it's expensive. I didn't know, like, in California, everything's expensive, right? So if you go to the hospital and you take Tylenol in the hospital, I didn't know it was like $72 a pill. I felt like an idiot. Like I had Tylenol on me that day. I could have made some money. Hey, I got them for 25 over here. Bet 7, I got them right here. Yeah, man. They sent me the bill, right, for everything I talked about, a couple months worth of hospital visits and doctors and tests and labs and this and that. And anyone want to guess what my copay was? Not the whole thing, the copay. $5,000. Yeah. Jesus, that's my name for sure, yeah. And I knew the bill was going to be bad. You know how I knew? Because they sent it to me in a yellow envelope, the big ones, with the metal butterfly in the back. I'm like, this is serious, bro. They gave it to me, I had to sign for it. I'm like, what is this? So I get it, I put it down on the thing, so I open it, and right away something caught my attention. When I'm taking the bill out, I noticed that there was 2 staples in the upper left-hand corner. I'm like, this is serious. That means one of the staples didn't grab all the way. When they stapled it, they went ba, ba. Yeah. And I take the packet out and I'm looking through everything. Everything is itemized, everything. Hundreds of things on here, just everything. It's freaking me out. And my homie was there, right? And my homie's like, hey, are you all right? I said, I am not all right. He said, what's going on? I said, I have a $5,000 copay. And he starts laughing. I'm like, oh, yeah, very funny, right? He goes, bro, I'm going to put you up on game. So this is what I found out from this fool. He goes, when you call the insurance company, sometimes they lower the bill just because you called, or sometimes they offer you a payment plan, right? And, you know, they'll set it up like $5,000. If you can pay $10 a month and you can do that for 2 years and not miss a payment, they'll wipe out the whole thing. I said, man, like, I'm going to tell them I can send like $7 or something. That's all I can do. I'll do it on automatic pay. Like, I'll hook it up where it's like every month they'll do it on their own. And he goes, you should do that right now. I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And my homie's like, just have everything ready. I'm like, all right, I'll have everything ready. So I laid out all the paperwork, got my checkbook, got a little muffin there for a snack. Got my headphones, let's call customer service. Let's do it, right? So I called the insurance company, and the lady I spoke to was awesome. Like, she was great. Like, her jersey should be up in the rafters at the call center. Cheryl, you know what I mean? So I called, and she's like, you know, hello, my name's Cheryl. How can I help you? I tell her what's up, and she's like, I need your info. I give it to her, and she goes, all right, I just pulled up your bill. I'm looking at it right now. It says you owe $5,000. do you have any questions? I'm like, yeah, I have a few, actually. And we go line by line. And at one point, I said, would you mind looking at line 588? And she pulls it up. She goes, I'm looking at it right now. I'm like, $500? She goes, yep, they're charging you $500 for a robe at the MRI. I'm like, $500 is a lot. She goes, I'm sorry, that's what they charge. I'm like, but I didn't take the robe with me. Like, that robe's been there for a long time. She goes, I don't know what to tell you. I said, fuck it, I'll take the robe with me next time. I'll wear it to the club if I have to. Like, hell yeah, look at this. Kaiser Permanente right here. How much was it? $500, baby. That's an ugly robe. No, check out the best part. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thank you. So we keep going, right? She's super helpful. We keep going. Oh, at one point I said, Miss, would you look at line 721, please? And she goes, $1,000? I said, yes. They're charging me, get this, $1,000. And I tell her, I said, for matinee. I'm like, I don't know what matinee is. Matinee? And she goes, I think you're pronouncing that incorrectly, sir. I said, matinee? She goes, that's pronounced manatee. I said, wait, so I'm paying for the fishes in the lobby as well? That's bullshit. So this is where it gets good, right? We keep going. We're almost at like 45, 50 minutes, right? And she goes, I feel like there's something wrong with your bill, Mr. Trejo. I said, that's what I've been trying to tell you, Cheryl. She goes, do you mind if I put you on hold for a little bit? I said, I don't mind at all. Go for it. So she puts me on hold. And she comes back and she goes, there's something definitely wrong with your bill. This is going to take a little longer. Do you mind if I talk to my supervisor? I said, yeah, that's fine. She puts me on hold. I'm on hold for like 20 minutes. And she comes back and her tone is different. And I get paranoid. I'm like, they found more shit. Right? That's what you think right away. Like, damn, I should have just paid the $5K. You owe $7. Bye. I never made this call. Bye. They can't prove it. She comes back and goes, Mr. Trejo. I said, yes. She's like, you're not going to believe this. And I go, be honest with me. Did you find more stuff? She goes, no, you're not going to believe this. It's like, I talked to my supervisor, and we managed to get your bill down to $1,000. What do you think about that, Mr. Trejo? I'm like, I think we have work to do. Let's keep that energy going, yeah? She gets a big laugh from it. I'm like, all right, great. This is my new best friend. And she tells me, she's like, you know what? I'm going to be on the clock for an additional 3 hours. Like, I'm here to help you. Any questions you have, I'll be helping you out for my next 3 hours on the shift. I said, great, let's do it. So we keep going. Like, we're going. We're well over an hour now. We're like an hour and a half, right? And I can tell she's upset. And I don't know if she's upset at me or, what's going on. So I check in with her. It's only right that I do. She's been helping me out. I said, Cheryl, I said, can I ask you something? She goes, yeah, what's going on? I said, I feel like you're upset, maybe tired. She goes, no, I'm fucking upset. I said, whoa, Cheryl. They're recording this for quality insurance, right? And she let go. She goes, I don't give a fuck anymore. I said, okay, again. I said, I don't know, like, did I say something? And she goes, no, I'm not mad at you. I want to make that clear. I'm mad at the insurance company. She's like, I've been working here for 14 years, and this happens every single day. I deal with something like this, and it's not fair. It's like, it's not fair how they treat us. I said, I'm with you, Cheryl. I mean, you're preaching to the choir here, She goes, this is bad. She's like, but your bill, it doesn't make any sense. I'm like, I know. She goes, tell you what. I said, she goes, tell you what. Can I go talk to my supervisor again? I said, go find the same one. I mean, if you can, find the same one. And she laughs a little bit. She goes, this is absurd. Hang tight. I'll be back. I said, take your time. I'm here to help you help me. Let's do this. So she puts me on hold for another 10, 15 minutes. And I'm just chilling, listening to classical music. I like classical music, you know what I mean? So I was killing it, some Chopin, you know what I mean? Yeah, Chopin. They had some Vladimir Horowitz in there. I'm like, let's do this, bro. Some good piano. And she comes back. her tone completely different, right? You ever been talking to somebody on the phone where you can't like, how can I say, it's like you can't see them, but you know they're laughing at you? Like you can just hear their lips tight. So she comes back and she goes, Mr. Trejo. I said, yes, I can't really hear you. Mr. Trejo, are you on the line? I said, why do you sound like that? She had me giggling and shit. I'm like, what do you sound like that? She goes, I need some additional information. I said, stop. She goes, I'm gonna put you on hold. Puts me on hold again. She comes back and I know she was laughing because she goes, let's try this again. I said, what's going on? She goes, I just need additional information. She goes, I need you to go back to page 1 of your bill. Now I'm nervous. I'm like, all right. So I flip back to page 1 of my bill. I'm like, okay. I'm looking at it right here. She goes, all right. Upper right-hand corner, what do you see? And I'm nervous. I'm like, 2 staples. She's like, no, that's the left side. I'm like, oh, this side. Okay, yeah. She's like, can you find your name and address? I'm like, yeah, I'm looking at it. She goes, read it to me. I'm like, so I read it to her. I don't get what's going on, right? She goes, right above that, there's one line. Can you read it to me? I said, my insurance number? She goes, yes. So I read it to her. She goes, right above that, there's another line. I said, accounting number? She goes, read it to me. I'm like, are you okay, Cheryl? So I give it to her, and she goes, all right. One last thing. There's a line right above that. Can you read it out loud to me, please? I said, sure. This is not a bill. This is not a bill. Like, I'm pre-diabetic. I can't see shit like this. Cheryl, the doctor said I can't see stuff like this. She goes, Mr. Trejo, you have a great rest of your day. I said, you too, miss. Thank you so much for your help, Cheryl. And I hung up, but I was left feeling weird. Because half of me is like excited. I don't owe $5,000, thank God. But the other half of me, I'm like, why do insurance companies do that to us? Right? Like, we're not like math teachers. We don't want you to show your work. Send me one paper and just circle what I owe you. That's it. So this is what I did, and I hope it catches on. I want to get people like everyone to do this so they can stop messing with everyone. So whenever you get that, get your checkbook out, fill it out, but in the number part right. This is not a payment. And send it back, see how they like it. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Even write on the envelope, open immediately, urgent. Scare them a little bit. I started smoking weed recently. Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it. It's for my pre-diabetes, you know what I mean? So the doctor said eat a lot more greens. I'm like, say no more. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I'm new to like smoking weed, and it's good. It helps, but I have a friend who works for a lab, right? Not a dispensary. He works for a lab, and they pay him $2,500 a month to smoke weed. And they send him stuff to try out, and he smokes it, and he takes data. I looked at his data. One of them said, this is good. Not even a period at the end, just left out there. This is good. And gets paid $2,500 a month. So my homie comes home one day and goes, hey man, I got this new weed stuff and it's not very good. He's like, I think you would like this. This is like pretty weak stuff. I said, no, like your tolerance is very high. So your weak stuff might be the most devastating thing for me. He goes, just take a little hit, see if you like it. I'm like, all right. So I took a little hit. That's all I did. And he got mad. He goes, the smoke didn't even hit your lungs. I said, bro, I know my body. 10 minutes later, I'm the highest I've ever been. Like high. Like I started doing that thing, like you know that thing that you do when you're high, the act normal, act normal, act normal, act normal, act normal, act normal. My homie's like, you gotta say that shit inside, bro. I said, oh shit, thank you for telling me, man. I'm freaking everybody out, man. We got so high, we ended up at the gym. Neither of us have gym memberships. We were in there, man. He's like, my homie's a buffer guy, so he knows how to use the machines and all that. I'm in there just walking around high. holding my head closed. The only machine I knew how to use in there was a water fountain machine. I was killing it. You ever drink so much water when you're high you can hear it when you turn? You turn, you're like, it's going, You lay down and just do this. It calms you down, you just... I was high, man, just walking around. And my homie's looking at me the whole time. I'm just walking around, he's just looking at me pace. And he yells at me, he goes, hey man, work out. And I whisper back, I'm like, I'm high. But I see what he's doing, and obviously it's working. It's like, I gotta sweat it out. So I copy what he's doing, right? I'm like, all right, just go. But I tell myself, count out loud. 1, it will help you, and 2, I think people wanna know what set you're on. Right, so I'm in there, 1, 2. I'm making eye contact with people, 3. I'm 50 reps in before I realized I never picked up a weight. I thought I looked good in the mirror. I'm like, hell yeah, look at this. Muscles, tattoos, turns out no mirror. I was staring at a cholo that kind of looked like me. He said, what the fuck you looking at? I said, my bad, bro, my bad. I don't have muscles or tattoos, sorry about that. Yeah, we were so high, we weren't even at the gym. We're at Dick's Sporting Goods. It's like, who let us in here, man? Edibles I won't do anymore. I learned my lesson. The problem with edibles is the word edible. That's a cute word. Right, if somebody's like, you want an edible? You're like, I want an edible, hell yeah. They gotta change it to devastating. That way you know what you're about to get into. Right, if somebody goes, you want a devastating? It's like, I got my whole life ahead of me. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. My homie gave me a cookie about this big, right, a little cookie. 3 sprinkles, good presentation. Right, I didn't want to eat it. I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. He goes, you should try it. I said, nah, I've never done edibles. This is, nah. I'm like, it smells already pretty loud. I'm good, you know. He goes, you should try it. I said, I won't. He's like, come on, bro, just try it. I'm like, all right. He's like, just don't eat the whole. I'm like, what? He's like, don't eat the whole thing. I said, I fucked up. He's like, you fucked up, bro. I was high for 1 week. I've never felt and heard my heartbeat on my asshole before. Just, I'm like, what is that? I would sit down, I can feel myself rise. Just, like, what did I just eat? A subwoofer? What is that? Here's a story. I had a show that day, and I was already like just going downhill. I was spiraling, and I'm sitting there pretty high, and I started getting what's called zoomies. You're right, like one eye zooms in, this eye zooms out, and they switch. I don't know what that was, but man, I was nauseous, I was sick, and my homie is just sitting in front of me crying, laughing. He's like, you're high, bro. I'm like, yeah, obviously. And he's just staring at me, and I'm just like spiraling. He goes, hey, like, I know you have a show, but don't even worry about it. I'll give you a ride. I'm like, that's not the problem right now. He's like, don't worry. So I get high. Keep getting high. And my homie looks at his watch. He goes, hey, man, we're like 30 minutes away from the show, and you're about to start in 30 minutes. We should leave now. We're going to be late. I said, shit. What am I going to do now? I have to take the ride. So I get in the car, put on the seatbelt. Like, you ever get in a car and you move forward and it locks you in right here? I stay like that the whole ride. My back never touched the seat. I just stay like this, chest out. My homie's driving, he's looking at me, he's like, you want to lay back? I said, nah, fuck it, I want to see shit before you do, bro. And he's driving, looking at me. I don't even look at him, and the whole left side of my face is hot from his laughter. He's like, you're high. I'm like, fuck it, I'm not looking at you, bro. And he's driving. We get to a red light, right? We get to a red light, and out of the corner of my left eye, I see my homie do one of these, right? And he goes, oh, shit, and I freak out. I said, what happened? He's like, bro, don't look out the window. I said, shit, you want to tell me why? He's like, bro, my supervisor is right next to us. I said, shit, are we in trouble? And he goes, you don't work with me. I'm like, oh, that checks out for sure, yeah. He goes, I hate that fool. I said, I hate him too, man. He's all right, this is what we're gonna do when we get to the next red light, and he's still like hiding in my silhouette, you know. He said, when we get to the next red light, I want you to moon this motherfucker. I said, Jacob, You've been nothing but a good friend to me. This is the least I can do for you. The light turns green. We take off. I'm unbuckling. I'm getting the shirt up. I'm helping out the homie. He's giving me a ride. This is the least I can do. So we get to the red light. I go for it. Just mooned him. And that's when I realized how high it was, because I'm looking out the window to the person I'm supposed to be mooning. And we just stare at each other. I'm confused. I'm like, can I see out of there? That's interesting. And the guy was a good guy. He rolled down his window. The supervisor goes, hey, man, you need directions? I'm like, damn, he's a good guy. And I'm just there going, ha. The only thing that came out in that moment was, you got mustard on your shirt, bro. Oh, thank you. And he took off. And then at that point, I sit down, I realize what happened, right? I sit back down, I'm looking at my homie, he's pissed. He won't even look at me, he's driving aggressively. I'm like, hey man, slow down. So I'm like buttoning up, and then he's not talking to me, so I tap him on the shoulder, I'm like, hey man, he's like, get the fuck off me, man. Let's go, are you that upset? He's like, bro, you showed me your asshole, man. I'm like, obviously I didn't mean to, bro. He's like, oh no, then why'd you wink at me? I'm like, it does that, bro, it does that, I can't control it. I'm like, no more edibles ever again, bro. Yeah, man. Apparently, I don't know the difference between an air fryer and an air purifier. There's a big difference, man. I bought the wrong one. I'm too embarrassed to tell you which one I got. But if you love the smell of wings, come on over, you guys. When somebody tells you to buy an air fryer, they tell you to buy it because it's healthier. They ask you, do you like wings? I said, I love wings. They're like, well, shit, get an air fryer because you can make wings with no oil. I said, bet. So as I'm sitting there with my air purifier, I'm putting wings. You got to put the flats in there first. The drums, you got to finesse them in there. And I'm looking at the air vents, and it's scraping sauce and skin off of the wings. And in my head, I'm like, shit, they look healthier already. What a wonderful purchase this was. So I put the wings in there, I hit the button, I'm waiting, right? The whole room's smelling like buffalo sauce, bad. And I'm waiting, and then it sparks. I don't know why, but it did that. And I'm like, they must be done. So I go to open the thing, I can't open it, it's stuck, right? It's stuck and I can't open it. And then I go like, oh man, like, do I have to unscrew the thing? Just then my mom walks in, she goes, Miko, what are you doing? I said, I'm making those wings. And she looks at it, she goes, and that? I said, yeah, I just got it. She's like, Miko, that's an air purifier. I said, you think so? She's like, I know so, pendejo. How'd you get them in there? I said, it wasn't easy, Mom. You gotta put the flats in there first. The drums, you gotta finesse them in there. She got her hand on her hip, judging me. This is the judging stance from a mom. She's like, how many wings are in there? I said, 24. He's like, why so many? I said, I thought you wanted some too. I'm pre-diabetic, I can't eat 24. She's like, I don't know what you're gonna do. I said, I'm gonna return this thing for sure. She's like, where'd you buy it? I said, Bed Bath & Beyond. Yeah, she's like, you used to work there. And I said, yeah, so I know the return policy. Do you guys know Bed Bath & Beyond's return policy? Just bring something in. They'll give you something back. I used to work there in college. I worked the return desk. Back then, I knew that company was gonna go out of business for sure. I'm like, when you got that crazy of a return policy, yeah. Like, you'd be surprised what people were bringing. Like, there was a guy who would come in every month on the dot. He would come in with a stack of dirty bath towels. Dirty, disgusting. He would come in with, like, the confidence of 1,000 sea lions, this guy. He would come and look at you right in the face and go, they don't work anymore. And what I wanted to say is like, yeah, no shit, bro. Like, I can't even open my eyelids all the way just because of the smell coming out of them. Well, you can't say none of that. You got to stick to the script. There's a script you follow, right? You got to troubleshoot the bath towel like you're an idiot. You got to troubleshoot dirty bath towels like you know what's wrong with it. But you got to do the script. You're like, sir, I understand these towels are not working properly. In order for them to work properly, they do need to be clean. Luckily, we got clean towels right over here. Go get the ones you need, bring them over, we can swap them out. He'd be like, hell yeah. Every month we would have to deal with this. Like you could go to Bed Bath & Beyond right now with the blender lid, like just the lid. If you have enough confidence, you can pull off that transaction. Just go in there, it's like, it's not working anymore. What's wrong with it? It's just not working, man. Where's the blender? It wasn't in the box. And they'll hit you with that great customer service. It's like, you know what, sir, in order for that blender lid to work properly, you need a blender. Luckily, we got blenders right over here. Go get what you need, bring it over, we'll swap them out. You'll be like, hell yeah. So now it's my turn to be an asshole. I show up with my air purifier full of wings. Right? And mind you, the wings have been in there all night. It's noon the next day, they smell terrible. But I show up, I'm in line, I'm making my way up the line. There's a guy in front of me who can clearly smell the wings. He keeps armpit checking himself. He does even one of these, like when you're trying to smell your own BO. Finally, he turns around and looks at me, he's like, do you smell this shit? I'm like, I don't smell nothing, bro. Mind your fucking business, man. You got mustard on your shirt, by the way. So I get to the front of the line and, put my air purifier down. And young college kids working there, which I feel terrible because I used to be in his shoes. I know what he deals with, but here I am showing up with more bullshit, you know. And he goes right into it. How can I help you? I said, it's not working. He goes, what's wrong with it? I said, it's just not working. And I'm hoping that's the last question I have to answer. He goes, I need to know what's wrong with it. I'm already panicking. I said, why do you need to know? He goes, because we write it down now on a slip. We write down what's wrong with it. We send it back to the manufacturer. And I start panicking because I'm like, you're off script, bro. What the fuck? I don't remember none of this shit. So I'm there. And I have to decide, do I lie to the kid? Or do I tell the truth? I'm like, I don't want to get him in trouble. So I just whisper. I just lean in. I'm like, I can't get the wings out. He goes, excuse me? I said, there's wings in here that I am unable to extract. He goes, don't do that to me. I heard you the first time. I'm just wondering why there's wings in there. I said, I thought it was an air fryer. He said, it's an air purifier. I said, that's exactly why I'm here. Turns out these are not very good at cooking wings. And he's taking notes. He's like, how'd you get them in there? I said, it wasn't easy. You gotta put the flats in there first. The drums, you gotta finesse them in there. And he's taking notes. He's like, uh-huh. He's like, how many? I said, 24. He's like, that's a lot. I said, they're not for me. I was sharing with my mom. He's like, okay. I'm like, I don't know why that's relevant, but he took it down. Okay, sharing with mom and dad. What are you talking about? And he goes, I don't know what to tell you right now. I said, I know what you're supposed to tell me. He goes, what do you mean by that? I said, in order for these wings to be cooked properly, he goes, stop. He goes, you work here. I said, no, I used to. He said, then you know what to do. Go get what you need and come back. I said, thank you so much. And that's how I got a new air fryer right there. On the way home, if you see a Bed Bath & Beyond still open, there's a few of them open, just pull in there. Pop your trunk, get some out of there. Anything, just grab it, walk in there, a spare tire, fuck it, just walk in there. Be like, yo, this Roomba sucks, man. That's my time. My name is Jesus Trejo. That's my time. Thank you. Thank you everyone who purchased a ticket. Thank you so much. Both shows are sold out. It's a small room, so get there early. And one of the things I'm gonna have there is a poster numbered. They're gonna be donation based, just to commemorate the date. I'm super excited. I hope you are too. I can't wait till tomorrow. And make sure you grab your posters.